has been left devastated after a man was knifed to death by a tiny teen in an ambush outside a cash converter. Cops were called to West Green Road in Tottenham at 4 p.m. yesterday, just weeks after a 17-year-old was stabbed to death on the scene. Cops tonight named the victim of the weekend's attack as 21-year-old Tyreke. Neighbour Wole Larose said Tyreke died outside a halfway house where he had been. He said, "I was sleeping upstairs and heard people talking and some shouting. I came down and saw him lying on the floor face up, just outside the... He seemed like a nice guy, but I didn't really speak to him to be honest." Mark Best, 36, who lives up the road said, "I heard someone crying really loud. Whoever it was sounded pretty distraught. I could see someone was being attended to on the ground. There was an ambulance at the end of the road which was blocking my view, but I could see someone was being pat." Moments later I saw a paramedic open up a red blanket, so either they were shielding the view or someone had. It's the second fatality to happen within a month. There are still flowers at his memorial across the road, less than 50 yards away. I was shocked that it was so close to my front door, at the end of my street. But having lived in London for most of my life, these things happen too. Detective Chief Inspector Linda Bradley, leading the investigation, said, "This is a fast-paced investigation and my team of detectives is determined to locate and arrest those responsible for the fatal." Tyreke's family have been left completely devastated by his death, and I would urge anyone who witnessed the attack or who has any other information about this case to contact Detective Chief Superintendent Treena Fleming, local police commander for Haringey, said, "I am deeply saddened by the death of another young man as the result of a senseless stabbing on the streets of Haringey. My thoughts and sympathies lie with the family and loved ones of the young man at this very difficult and traumatic." Homicide detectives are working incredibly hard alongside local officers to understand what happened yesterday afternoon and to identify and apprehend those responsible as soon as possible. If you witnessed what happened, or have any information about the murder, then I would urge you to get in contact and tell us. Over the next few days you will see increased police patrols and weapons sweeps in the area to provide reassurance to our community. If you know someone who has access to a knife, or habitually carries one, then please tell us so that we can act now to prevent any further mindless violence. One witness described seeing Tyreke being chased by a short lad before he was stabbed after being ambushed as he came out of a cash converters. They told the Evening Standard, "The guy came out of cash converters and a tiny lad, really short, started. They were running around a car, then the little guy, probably a teenager, must have stabbed the older." He staggered across the street to a doorway to a building where he lived and collapsed. He added, "I have seen the victim around. He was a nice enough lad. He had only moved here recently." The victim's mother turned up soon after. She wanted to see her son, but the paramedics were stopping her so they could. She was hysterical. A crime scene remains in place and the man's next of kin have been informed. A cool guy, a young woman, who knew Tyreke, said, "He was a cool guy and liked talking to girls, but he also seemed very depressed." Jessica Lopes, 21, a psychological student at Goldsmith University, who was out walking her dog 15 minutes after the murder happened, described the. She said, "There was an ambulance and a couple of police cars. They had taken out of bed, so I guess they were trying to There was a woman on the floor with him and she put a red blanket on him. I heard a couple of people screaming, 'Oh no,' so maybe they knew him. That door is always open, so maybe he ran in there to get help or something." Another kid got stabbed just up the road. It's scary because it happened in broad daylight. It could happen anytime, any place, and I go walk my dog 3-4 times a day. No arrests have been made and inquiries are ongoing. It comes just 5 weeks after student Anas Mizener, 17, was stabbed to death on West Green Road on January 19, shortly after 9 p.m. Another boy, also 17, had non-life-threatening stab injuries at the time. A friend said Anas, a keen gamer and Liverpool fan, had been attacked after confronting muggers who stole an. Anas' mum said, "He did not deserve this at all. He was a lovely boy. He was studying media at the moment, but he was very academic at school. He got all his GCSEs." 5 teens aged 14 to 17 have been charged with Anas' murder and will stand trial on a date to be confirmed. Scotland Yard said it was too early to say if the two killings are linked. Anyone with information that could assist police is asked to call the incident room on 0208 358 1010 or tweet at METCC and quote cat 4438/22 Feb, or op tailors. Alternatively, call the independent charity Crime Stoppers anonymously on 0800 555 11.